She fell in love with her lesson tutor, but what he did to her next will leave you speechless. Want to know what he did? Stay till the end as we unfold the story together. The movie opens with a lovely family scene. Mama Amaka and her son, Uchenna, are having a light conversation about his passion for music and the reason for his hairstyle. Just then, Amaka, her first child, brings food for them, leaving Uchenna happy and ready to eat. Amaka happily serves them before leaving for her lesson, while the mother and son continue their fun time, playing and teasing each other. Later, Amaka arrives late for her lesson, where a young and handsome tutor, Mr. Chijioke, is already teaching. When he sees her, he asks why she is late, and Amaka gives her excuses. He then continues with the lesson. After the lesson, on their way home, Amaka asks her seatmate, Joy, for her notes to copy at home, promising to return them that night. Joy gladly gives her the notes. Afterward, Amaka returns to see Mr. Chijioke. Minutes later, Amaka meets Chijioke, who is kind and friendly toward her. He encourages her to take her studies seriously so she can pass her JAMB and gain admission into the university. Amaka shyly promises to do better. She then requests to come and do his laundry for him. At first, Chijioke refuses, but after much persuasion, he agrees, leaving Amaka happy and fulfilled. Later at home, Uchenna is seen freestyling a new song when Amaka walks in. As usual, the siblings begin teasing each other and chasing one another around the house. The next day, Amaka is seen doing Chijioke's laundry in his house. Chijioke is deeply touched and impressed. He gently lays his hands on her and tells her how proud he is of her, leaving Amaka blushing. He then offers to make noodles for them to eat. Although Amaka offers to cook for him, he insists on making the meal himself, leaving her with no choice. Moments later, Chijioke prepares the noodles and serves Amaka, and they both enjoy the meal together. That evening, Chijioke walks Amaka part of the way home, and they enjoy each other's company. Meanwhile, a young lady who is a court member gets into a heated argument with a cab driver who refuses to take her to her destination, claiming it is too far. As he continues to harass her, Chijioke intervenes and settles the issue. He asks the court member to pay the cab driver to avoid further embarrassment, which she does. When he asks where she is going, she replies that she was posted to the community secondary school. Chijioke then offers to take her there. When they arrive, he shows her around the school compound and points out the principal's office, explaining that this is also where he conducts his evening jam lessons. Before leaving, the core member introduces herself as Tosin. They exchange pleasantries and part ways. That night, Amaka tries to study, but gets lost in thoughts of how tenderly Chijioke touched her earlier. Her sweet moment is interrupted by the loud snoring of her brother in the room. Annoyed, she chases him out so she can have her space and fantasize in peace. One fateful day, Amaka's mother is returning from a women's meeting when a young man named UCHE almost knocks her down with his car because he was not paying attention. Shocked and full of remorse, he immediately steps out to apologize and offers her a ride. After much pleading and apology, Amaka's mother finally agrees. On their way, Amaka's mother engages UCHE in conversation and discovers that he is very wealthy but still single, which impresses her. She offers him some motherly advice as they continue their journey. Meanwhile, Tosin, the core member, was struggling to get network service and looked frustrated. When Chijioke saw her, he offered to take her to a place where she could get better network. Tosin was thankful, and they left together. Chijioke took Tosin up a hill where the network was stronger, and she admired the beautiful view. While there, they had a personal conversation as they tried to get to know each other better. Chijioke encouraged her to feel comfortable and assured her that the community would favor her. Tosin remained positive and hopeful. Days later, Amaka's mother was outside her house when UCHE unexpectedly visited to check on her. She welcomed him warmly, and they began talking. Just then, Amaka stepped out, ready to go study with her friend Joy. While Amaka was talking to her mother, UCHE was stunned by her beauty. After she left, he praised her mother for giving birth to such a beautiful daughter, making Amaka's mother blush. Later, Amaka visited Chijioke's house and offered to do his laundry. While there, she noticed he was having back pain and offered to massage him, assuring him that he would feel better. Chijioke innocently accepted the offer. Inside the room, Amaka prepared to give Chijioke the massage. But when she saw him shirtless, she was stunned and overwhelmed by his physique. Later that day, Amaka was in her room, lost in thoughts about what she had seen at Chijioke's house. She did not hear her mother calling her name until she shouted, bringing Amaka back to reality. Her mother then began a conversation about marriage, suggesting UCHE as a suitable option. She believed it would be best for Amaka to marry UCHE since she had failed JAM 4 times. Amaka immediately dismissed the idea, explaining that Chijioke was tutoring her privately and that she would pass this time. Her goal was to become a graduate. Her mother said nothing more and simply hoped for the best for her daughter before leaving. The following day, Chijioke met Tosin again on the hill, where she usually got good network. Tosin told him she was planning to relocate because there were little or no opportunities in the community. She gave examples of her cousins teaching English remotely from Germany, while he was still here limiting his potential. Chijioke thought deeply about it and asked her to help link him up, which she gladly agreed to do. He then offered to take her somewhere else to show her around, and they left together, holding hands and laughing. At that moment, Amaka was walking happily when she saw them together. She froze, feeling deeply hurt and sad, then ran back home. The next day during lessons, Chijioke was teaching his students when Tosin walked in, briefly distracting him. When Amaka saw the two of them smiling at each other again, her expression changed immediately, and she became jealous. After the lesson, Tosin waited for Chijioke and told him how impressed she was with his teaching. They walked home together. Meanwhile, Amaka was with Joy, but was not listening to her. Instead, she focused on watching Chijioke and Tosin together, leaving her friend worried. Back at home, UCHE visited Amaka's mother again. This time, he was welcomed inside. OKEH welcomed him warmly and talked about his music career. Just then, Amaka returned from her lesson, and UCHE was excited to see her again. Her mother excused herself and OKEH to the kitchen, so Amaka and UCHE could talk alone. While they were alone, UCHE spoke with Amaka and learned that she planned to study business administration in school. He also shared that he was into the importation and sale of luxury cars. However, Amaka was cold and uninterested in the conversation, which left UCHE disappointed. The following day, Tosin visited Chijioke at his house, and he warmly welcomed her inside. Meanwhile, UCHE visited Amaka's house again with many gifts and food items. Everyone was happy and rejoicing, but Amaka seemed unimpressed by his kind gesture. Her mother scolded her and urged her to at least show appreciation. Later that day, Amaka went to Chijioke's house and asked to do his laundry, but he refused, telling her not to bother because he was going out. Amaka left feeling disappointed. Meanwhile, OKEH was by the roadside playing with his friend when he saw Chijioke and Tosin walking together. He immediately sensed that something was wrong because he knew his sister liked Chijioke. Later, OKEH returned home and quickly reported what he saw to Amaka. He exaggerated the story, saying that Chijioke and Tosin were romancing each other on the road. Amaka was deeply hurt, but tried to hide her pain as she chased him away. At that moment, heartbroken, she remembered the day she went to see Chijioke and met Tosin in his house instead. The memory left her even more hurt and broken. That night, Amaka was crying when OKEH entered her room. Concerned, he asked what was wrong. Realizing it was about Chijioke, her JAM teacher, he apologized and encouraged her to be strong. He even managed to make her smile before returning to his room. The next day, Amaka was alone in her room, lost in her thoughts, when her mother came in and asked her to go out with UCHE, who was waiting for her. At first, Amaka refused, but her mother insisted, leaving her with no choice. Later, Amaka dressed up and left with UCHE. On their way, UCHE tried to be polite and friendly in order to impress her because he liked her and wanted to marry her. Amaka immediately told him she was not ready for marriage. Just then, Tosin and Chijioke passed by, and Amaka saw them together. Enraged and overwhelmed, she demanded that UCHE take her back home. Shocked, he did exactly that. When they arrived home, Amaka got out of the car and walked inside, ignoring her mother and brother. UCHE drove away, leaving them confused and wondering what had gone wrong. Hours later, Amaka's mother scolded her for ruining her outing with UCHE and insisted that she go and apologize to him. Still hurt and heartbroken, Amaka refused to open up to her mother about who she truly wanted to be with, Chijioke, not UCHE. In frustration, She walked away, leaving her mother shouting. Later, Chijioke returned home and found Amaka waiting at his entrance. Surprised, he asked why she was there. Nervously, Amaka confessed her feelings for him and explained why she refused to marry the man her mother was suggesting. Chijioke was dumbfounded and did not know what to say. Amaka assumed his silence meant he did not like her and preferred Tosin instead. Heartbroken, she ran away, leaving Chijioke confused. That night, Chijioke could not sleep. Amaka's words and her confession kept replaying in his mind. Days later, at the lesson center, Chijioke resumed teaching, but noticed Amaka was absent. Worried, he asked Joy, who confirmed that she had not seen Amaka for days. This left him shocked and concerned. The following day, Chijioke ran into Amaka on the road. Just as she expected him to say something, he said nothing. They both walked away in different directions, each with a heavy heart. Days later, on a cool afternoon, UCHE was seated in Amaka's living room when she walked in and was surprised to see him. He immediately assured her that he was not there to see her but her mother, which left Amaka relieved yet guilty. She apologized to him for her previous behavior and asked if he could still take her out again. Shocked but pleased, UCHE agreed, and Amaka went to get dressed. Later that day, UCHE and Amaka returned home together. Amaka was all smiles as she thanked him for his kindness before going inside the house. The next day, Joy visited Amaka unexpectedly to check on her and ask why she had been skipping classes. Amaka assured her she was fine, but explained that she was no longer interested in going to the university. She said she had written Jam B 4 times with no guarantee of passing this time and had decided to get married instead. Joy was shocked and tried to convince her to focus on her education first, but sadly, Amaka had already made up her mind to do what her mother wanted, get married. Hours later, Joy reported her conversation with Amaka to Chijioke and expressed her concerns. Chijioke thanked her and left, deep in thought about what to do next. Days later, Chijioke and Tosin were spending time together on the hill when Tosin mentioned that she was in a relationship. This revelation shocked Chijioke because he never imagined she had someone in her life. He was left with mixed emotions, unsure whether to feel disappointed or relieved. Meanwhile, UCHE took Amaka to inspect one of the houses he was building. Amaka was very impressed and expressed her amazement. Just then, Chijioke walked past their car, but could not see who was inside because the windows were tinted. However, Amaka saw him immediately. She felt uncomfortable, but quickly bottled up her emotions. The following day, Chijioke visited Amaka's mother. She was excited to see him and began praising him for the good work he had been doing in the community. She said that anyone who attended his lessons always passed their JAMB exams. At that moment, Chijioke explained the real reason for his visit. It was about Amaka. That night, Amaka's mother called a meeting with her children and announced that none of them would get married now, but would go to school instead. Everyone was shocked by her sudden decision, especially because she had been pushing Amaka to marry UCHE. She told Amaka to continue her private lessons with Chijioke, believing she would pass this time. Amaka remained in shock as her mother walked away. The next day, Amaka's mother met with UCHE and sadly broke the news to him that her daughter was no longer interested in marrying him because she wanted to go to school. Shocked, UCHE pleaded and asked to be part of Amaka's educational journey, but her mother refused. She insisted that he leave and never show his face again, saying she fully supported her daughter's dream of becoming a graduate. UCHE left disappointed and confused. Still shocked, Amaka and Ekini wondered what had made their mother change her mind so suddenly. Ekini suggested that it must have been the JAM tutor who spoke to her. Curious, Amaka decided to go and speak with Chijioke. Amaka met Chijioke and immediately asked what he told her mother to make her change her plans. After much discussion, he confessed that he only spoke to her mother about Amaka's education and why she should not be allowed to waste her opportunity. He explained that he could see how passionate Amaka was about going to school. Amaka was speechless and stunned. That night, Amaka's mother gave her a dress she had bought for her and then apologized for forcing her own decisions on her, believing she was doing what was best. She assured Amaka of her full support for any dream she chose to pursue. Amaka was deeply touched, and they embraced each other. The next day, Amaka resumed her private lessons at Chijioke's house. She acted cold throughout the class and stayed focused on why she was there, even when he tried to talk to her. After the lesson, Chijioke offered to walk her home, but she quickly refused. She pleaded with him not to make things harder for her than they already were, and walked away, leaving him confused. The following day, Chijioke welcomed Amaka warmly and even offered her favorite biscuits and fruits to make her comfortable. Still hurt, Amaka refused the gifts and insisted they begin the lesson. Just then, a knock interrupted them. When Chijioke checked, it was Tosin. She asked to come in, but Chijioke politely declined, explaining that he was attending to something important inside. Tosin accepted this and left. Back inside the house, Amaka offered to leave so Chijioke and Tosin could have their space. However, Chijioke told her that she was important to him. This made Amaka blush and feel comfortable as they began the lesson. As days passed, Chijioke and Amaka were seen spending more time together, walking and studying. Meanwhile, Tosin began to feel Chijioke's absence at the hill where they usually met. One day, Chijioke met Tosin at their usual spot. She told him that her relocation process had finally been completed and that she would be leaving by the weekend. Chijioke was happy for her and congratulated her. Meanwhile, Amaka was on her way to the market when she ran into UCHE. He began apologizing to her for any wrong he might have done, explaining that her mother had told him she wanted to take her own life if she married him. Shocked by what she heard, Amaka rushed back home to confront her mother. At home, Amaka angrily confronted her mother for lying to UCHE that she would kill herself if forced to marry him. Caught and overwhelmed, her mother opened up and told her the truth. She recalled the day Chijioke visited her and made her believe that Amaka was suicidal, after claiming Amaka had said she would kill herself if her mother continued forcing her to marry UCHE. Out of fear, she decided to let Amaka follow her dreams instead. In the present moment, both mother and daughter were shocked to realize that Chijioke had lied. Disappointed, Amaka left immediately to confront him, leaving her mother confused and worried. Meanwhile, Chijioke had arranged a tricycle to take Tosin to the city. He hugged her goodbye as she left. When Chijioke returned home, he met Amaka angrily, waiting for him. She demanded to know why he lied to her mother. In remorse, Chijioke confessed that he did it to protect her. He explained that he wanted her to go to school and not bury her dreams under the pressure of marriage. He also confessed that he was in love with her. When Amaka asked about Tosin, he told her that Tosin was already in a relationship. Heartbroken, Amaka believed she was only a second option to him. Disappointed and hurt, she ran away, leaving Chijioke confused and concerned. That night, Amaka's mother stayed awake comforting her daughter, who felt betrayed and used. Weeks later, UCHE visited Amaka again. She clearly told him she was not interested in marrying him and that she wanted to go to school and earn her degree. UCHE respected her decision and left. Shortly after, Chijioke came to see Amaka, but she ignored him and went back inside. As days went by, Amaka devoted herself fully to her studies. She studied day and night, even finding time to read while cooking. Months later, Amaka wrote her JAMB examination. Nervously, she checked her results and, to her joy, she passed this time. Overwhelmed with happiness, she rejoiced. Her mother, hearing the good news, was thrilled, and they celebrated together. Years later, Amaka completed her studies and also finished her service year. The entire community welcomed her home with excitement. Her mother was emotional and grateful as they embraced. In joy and gratitude, Amaka shared money with the children who welcomed her, and everyone rejoiced with her, including her family. Moral of the story: this story teaches us that education and personal dreams should never be sacrificed for pressure or convenience. True love supports growth, not control. Parents should listen to their children and guide them with wisdom, not fear. Most importantly, patience, focus, and perseverance can turn repeated failures into lasting success. Thanks for watching, guys. Please don't forget to subscribe for more latest interesting Nigerian movies from us. See you next time.